We're outdoors.
I know, it's so beautiful.
And today is Saturday.
April 26, 2025.
And we are sitting in a beautiful place, which we're going to show you in a second, because right now all you can see is my car behind us.
Yeah.
But we are sitting in our own comfy seats.
That's right.
Look at that.
Right here. We're all set.
All right. So we're going to just chat with you. And I got a couple of topics. Robin doesn't know what they are.
Oh, good. I like surprises.
But we're going to kind of do a little chat.
Yeah. And what's nice about this place is that it has fountains, and you can hear the fountains, and it's so pretty.
And the birds.
And the ducks.
And the ducks.
Yeah.
All ducks are birds.
That's right.
But not all birds are ducks.
No, you got that right.
All old people are people. But not all people are old.
That's right.
Whatever that means. I don't know.
That's right.
That one didn't make sense.
Yeah, we're the latter.
That one didn't make sense. All right, let me turn it around. There. Now you see what we see. Beautiful Lake Tuscarora.
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
I think it's called Lake Tuscarora.
Yep, you're right.
It's Tuscarora Park, that's for sure. And there's a lake on both sides of the road. I don't know if you can see that lake behind us. There it is. You can see a little bit.
And there's a fountain in that one too. So pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's turn it around back to here. We don't have our microphones on right now, so try to make sure I keep the phone near us so we can be heard.
Yeah, but listen to the fountains.
Can you imagine, like when you were a kid, if you were leaving the house and your mother said, "Oh, I forgot my phone." Nobody took their phone with them.
Yeah.
And can you imagine, like texting? I don't know. All the technology that we have right now, we sort of are used to it all, I guess. But it crept into our lives one piece at a time, and now we're where we are.
Oh, yeah.
So we came from a business. This is my first talking point, by the way.
Okay.
We came from a business called broadcasting, where technology really, really changed it a lot.
Oh, and you found that out firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah, 36 years plus in broadcasting, sure.
So broadcasting specifically in our case was radio, not TV. And I know TV had a lot of changes that happened also. But in radio, let's see. Well, first of all, the microphones are unbelievably small now. They can be, they don't have to be. We actually have two big microphones that we use when we do a podcast.
Oh, yeah, and this microphone is built into your phone. So you don't
Isn't that
see
incredible?
it. I know.
And the phone is the camera.
Yeah.
Not just a camera, but a video camera.
Yeah, look at those ducks flying.
Let's get some food.
Yeah, didn't think to bring the peas.
No, let me get a little closer. Zoom in a little bit on them.
Yeah.
So in radio, obviously with it just being audio, first thing we had was a tape recorder, and it went 3 3/4 inches per second, or 7.5 inches per second, or if you wanted real high fidelity, it went 15 inches per second. And then the recording studios, I think it went up to 30 inches per second.
Oh my.
It was always doubled, right? And then the records, the vinyl records, were 45 RPM and 33 RPM. That means revolutions per minute, kids.
I thought they said 33 1/3.
You're right, 33 1/3.
Okay.
Absolutely right. Yep.
Then my grandma had 78.
78, that was before my time.
Yeah, for mine too.
I mean, I know about them, but we didn't have them on radio.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, it really felt like all of a sudden. So for so many years, to edit audio tape was to physically cut the tape and then tape it together when you removed the parts you didn't want. So you literally had lots of little splices in the tape.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it seemed like, I don't know when this was, the 90s maybe? There started to be this thing called digital audio.
Yeah.
And it was so weird to not have something physical. It was just on a computer. but I learned it.
Yeah, and prior to digital, it was for the recording industry, cassettes.
For us, as
Yeah.
Robin and the Giant. For
Yeah.
those who don't know, Robin and I not only did talk radio, but we did children's radio.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we did a lot of cassettes and then CDs.
And
And
CDs, yeah.
now it's all digital. Everything's digital.
Yeah.
So in your world of accounting, you worked as an accountant.
Yes.
How did technology change what you did?
Technology changed because when I used to do payroll, which was in the 1970s, I would figure out all the taxes and everything by hand. I had a Rolodex with all the tax tables on it, with all of the, deductions, single, married, all that stuff. And I had to literally flip it, and say, oh yeah, here's the salary, and here it is. And I had to write with a pencil and everything, and get everything deducted with my pencil. And then I would physically handwrite the checks because they didn't come through a machine or anything.
So on payday, everybody came to you?
Yep, I had all the checks were done by payday,
Yeah.
but I had to handwrite everything and figure out
Wow.
the taxes manually. Same thing with the W-2s and 1099s at the end of the year. You had to check, and recheck everything to make sure it was right.
Did you have to write your own check?
Yeah, I did. I had to write my own check, but then my boss would double check to make sure.
You didn't cheat.
Exactly.
Make sure you didn't put a couple zeros.
Oh yeah, no, that would be horrible. And then there was this thing that came along called the Sperry Univac.
The what?
Sperry Univac. It was a computer that you could hand insert payroll in. They had these big discs that must have been 24 or 30 inches wide. And then you would open this drawer and you'd slip it in there and push the drawer, and then you'd have the computer screen, but it wasn't called the computer screen. Just had the screen there, and then you could manually enter everything. And then you push a button, and then it would calculate everything for you. And then again, you would print out a sheet with everybody's name and all their, deductions and all, and physically check it to make sure the machine didn't mess up. And after that, you had computers, and now you've got one of the things called QuickBooks, where you just put in the person's name, the number of deductions, how much they make, and then it figures it all out for you.
Yeah. What if this duck is coming to see us? Oh, look at the Anhinga.
Yeah.
The Anhinga pops his head up. Oh, look at
that.
look at
Isn't
that.
Something. Wow.
That was cool.
Yeah. Well, we keep shrimps and peas in the freezer just for moments like this, but we didn't realize we were going to really stop here. Otherwise, we would have grabbed the frozen peas and brought them with us. But she must have had a fish because she was doing her neck like she was swallowing it.
I lost her.
Yeah.
You're saying her, so I'll say her.
Okay.
I have no idea if it's a female.
I don't either. I can't tell. Wonder how you tell on ducks.
So what was your first job?
My first job was cleaning the beauty salon that my mother worked at.
How old were you?
I was like 13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So $5, every Sunday after. Ooh, there he is. every Sunday after church, come and I go in there and then I clean it. Not much to clean because all the beauticians kept their areas immaculate.
Yeah,
You had to, because after every haircut you give a person or whatever you were doing, a permanent wave or something, you clean everything up before you have the next person sit down. It was spotless. So that was nice.
Well, that's interesting. My first job, I'm going to say I was 14, not 13.
Uh-huh.
And it was like the assistant janitor at the church.
Uh-huh.
The title was sexton.
Oh, sure. I recognize the title, but I didn't know what a sexton did.
Well,
Look at those
that was the
birds.
title in the church I cleaned.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was, and the guy who was the custodian was also the brother of the custodian from the elementary school I went to.
Oh, nice.
And I better not say his name, but I remember thinking, boy, I guess all janitors have the same last name. I didn't realize they were the brothers.
Oh, I see.
And I made $40 a month.
Oh, nice.
Do you remember how much you made?
$5 each Sunday.
So that's $20 a month.
Yeah, unless you had a Sunday a month with 5 Sundays. That was
Ah,
$25.
$5 a Sunday. So I was $40 a month. So I must have, and I only worked like, I think I worked Saturday and Sunday. I think that was it. Not the whole day even.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd go in, I'd wash the blackboards, I'd set up the chairs, I'd take down the chairs on Sunday, I'd set up the tables, take down the tables on
nice.
Sunday.
Nice.
They had partitions, they had a big like dining room area that they used for Sunday school,
Uh-huh.
and they would separate it into little portions for the classes.
Oh,
And
nice.
so I had to move those partitions. They were
Uh-huh.
on wheels,
Oh, nice.
and then set up the tables and the chairs. Yeah, I guess I got $10 a week because I got $40 a month.
And did you get creative when you were moving those partitions and chairs?
No.
Did you kind of go against the grain?
I did not. However, wait a minute. You got me thinking about something. I was creative with the blackboards because I like to draw. And so sometimes I would leave, ooh, something's happening right there.
Yes, here.
Sometimes I would leave like little pictures on the blackboard. Just little things like, I don't know. I can't even think of what I might have left. But is that the same bird that's under the water there?
No, I think I saw pop its head over there in the sunshine. It must have scooted down over here and zoomed over there, and now he put his head back down again.
I should have brought my polarized filter. Then I could see through the glare.
Oh, that's right. Well, this is a nice pond because anybody can fish here. It's stocked, but it's all catch and release. You don't keep the fish once you get it. You catch them and you release them. That little boy way over there, he just bent down to...
Oh, fishing?
Something.
Is he fishing?
I don't think so. He doesn't have a pole.
He's just having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, see his reflection.
Oh, I see him. Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, with the duck and everything. He's trying to get the duck.
That's a good picture.
That is a good... Ooh, there comes the duck.
Is he trying to get the duck?
So, I mean, there was another duck that came down here and went up and down,
Yeah,
and now he's
yeah.
going around to the other side. That was a good video shot.
So my first job was that, and then let's see, other jobs I had early on in my life. I had a lot of factory jobs.
Uh-huh.
A lot of factories. I worked at a plastics factory. I worked in a sheet metal factory. I worked in a newspaper factory. Or newspaper. I worked for a newspaper, but it was a factory kind of environment. I remember praying to God, can I please have a job where I work with people and not with machines?
Uh-huh.
That was my prayer. And you know what? The rest of my life, I pretty much had jobs like that. I worked for an assisted living facility with people. I worked for a detention center with juvenile delinquents. That was people.
Uh-huh.
And then ultimately, working with you, with radio. I mean, that's ultimately you're working with people. You're talking to people on the radio. And,
On the phone and in the studio.
right.
And everything.
Interviewing
Yeah.
people all the time.
Sure.
Absolutely.
God answered your prayers, God, for me.
Yeah, absolutely. He answered my prayers.
Yeah, he answers everybody's prayer.
And then, of course, we wrapped up our working days from radio. We retired from radio.
After 36 years, long time.
You know, we've had the name of this channel, The World Spins Fine on Her Own,
Uh-huh.
for a long time. And for a long time, anytime somebody heard the name of our show, including May Pang, by the way, John Lennon's girlfriend,
Yes.
they would always like raise their eyebrows like, what kind of a name is that? The World Spins Fine on Her Own.
Yeah.
But the other day I got a text. Somebody wrote, that is a great name because of the fact that you two retired from radio. And they said, I get it. I get why you called the channel The World Spins Fine on Her Own.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. So for those of you who don't get it, should I explain it or should you?
No, you go ahead.
So when you do a talk show, and we had political topics, but we weren't political. We only had political topics when there were politicians in the studio, or if a listener called in and wanted to talk about whatever was politically hot at that moment. But whether it was politics or whether it was something social, like in our town or in the country, whatever, we're talking about it and we're giving our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So when we retired, we thought, you know what? The world doesn't really need our opinion.
Yeah.
The world really does spin fine on its own. It doesn't really need us.
Mm-mm.
And so, for those of you who don't realize, radio might seem glamorous and all that, but you're stuck in a studio.
Yeah.
So once we retired, guess where we could go?
Anywhere.
Anywhere,
That's right.
including to Tuscaloosa Park.
That's right. Just put gas in the car and off you go. And you have to eat somewhere. So you might as well just pack a picnic lunch, throw it in your cooler. You know, you save dollars with that. And it all works. Because who eats a lot?
Well, that is,
people I know.
you just did an awesome segue, because the third topic I have, so the first topic was,
Look at there across the street. He's fighting with a fish.
See it?
You
Yeah.
see it? They're
Yeah.
fighting with a fish.
Let's see.
Right over there. Look at that.
I see it. Yeah, I see
Look
it.
at that.
Oh, it's National Geographic.
Yeah, they're fighting with that fish. Look at that.
Oh, wow. I wonder who
Wow.
won.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Look at his feather. And the other birds came and landed in the tree. They were all excited about that. See that? There you go. Now they're parting their ways. The two ducks. See, the other one was...
Yeah.
Look. There goes one. Look at him flying. Isn't he pretty? Look at that. He's like, I'm going on the side of the pond.
He says, I'm getting in that video.
Yeah.
Those people are making a video over there.
Get my good side.
So the third topic is this.
Is
Because you started talking about you can go anywhere if you have a tank of gas, whatever.
great. And throw a sandwich in the car. Stuff the sandwiches.
So let's talk about that. And let's talk about where we've gone.
Okay.
Places you've gone, and then would you go back? Or places you've never gone and you'd like to go to, like bucket list places.
Oh, yeah.
All right?
Well, I've been camping at Kentucky Springs and tubing up there. That was a lot of fun. I like to go back there. What about you?
Well, that was short. That's all you had to say
that's
about
all
it?
I have to say. Well, Kentucky Springs, we got a jogger, is one of those natural springs here in Florida, to the northwest of us. And they've got a tuber where you can tube down the springs and everything. A lot of fun. You can camp there. I went tent camping there with my kids and my family and everything. And it's just so peaceful, so comfortable. So yes, I would do that again. I love tubing.
So I've never been there,
Camping.
but I've been tubing.
Yeah.
My only tubing place, aside from a lazy river at a hotel, my only tubing place has been the Rainbow River, which is just about 20 miles from here, I guess. But I used to do that every single summer, at least once.
Oh my gosh.
And then when we had relatives visiting us, back before everybody died, a lot of my family's gone.
Mine is too.
But we used to have family visiting us from up north, and then we'd always take them to the Rainbow River. We'd always go tubing down the river. And so I would do it more than once a year. And the one thing they always worried about was alligators. And alligators are in the river. But I really have a theory about this.
What's that?
I think there are more alligators now because they're protected. Back then they weren't protected. So like if you lived on the river and there was an alligator in your backyard and you felt like it was going to be a problem for your puppy dog.
Yeah, nuisance alligator.
I mean, you could literally harvest it. I'll use a nice word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Well, now they do have the Fish and Wildlife Game Commission. Now they do have a season for alligators, but it's the lottery system. So you have to put your name in. They choose your name, and you only have like a day or two
But it doesn't.
to do that.
But it doesn't really call the herd, whatever.
No. Let's see, what else would I like to do? Let's see.
Have you ever been to New York City?
Yes, I have. I have, and I went on a wonderful Mother's Day cruise. It was a lunch. My son and daughter-in-law treated me to a Mother's Day cruise in 2014, and it was great. We got all dressed up. My son had a suit on. My husband had a suit on. My daughter-in-law had a pretty dress. I had my pretty dress and heels. And it was so nice as we went on this beautifully decked out boat. It was so nice. It was like a paddle wheel. And we went there. We had this lunch. You could eat downstairs or up on the deck. And then we opted to eat downstairs in the air conditioning, and it would just go up. I don't know what river it was or anything. I just know we got on this boat and we went somewhere that took us past the Statue of Liberty, and they turned around and came back, and then after lunch we were on the top deck, and you could have some beverages or just walk around, and beautiful view. But it was great because it was family, and I would definitely do it again for family, with family. Doesn't have to be Mother's Day, it can be any day.
Have you ever been to Chicago?
Yes, I have. Went to the Museum of Science and Industry. Great place to go. They just got fabulous things there from the wars, and they've got other things, scientific things. It's really nice. What about you?
I've never been to Chicago.
But what place would you like to go to?
Well, I have one more to ask you.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Milwaukee?
Of course.
Miss Robin's from that area.
Yeah, I'm from Cudahy. It's a suburb of Milwaukee, and it's a really nice town. Art museums, Summerfest with just a lot of happenings during the summer with the music groups that come in, and it's just a lot of fun. A lot of theater, opera, just so really nice. It's a wonderful place.
So I would say, and some of this is true for you too, that I'm going to use the word intimately. I don't know if that's a good word in this case, but I'm intimately familiar with New York City because that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unfair to talk about New York as a place I visited, but I was listening to you talk, and you've been to two of the biggest cities in this country, and in fact you are intimately familiar with Chicago, right? Or
not as much.
So Milwaukee.
I just know a couple key points in Chicago, but not as much. Milwaukee's the city I'm familiar with. New York is what I am trying to get familiar with because I love the city.
So, and I'm familiar with part of LA. So that's my other big city in this country.
And you would go back?
I would definitely go back. I want to go back.
Yeah.
Nice. I plan to go back next May. In 2026. But I am not intimately familiar with Los Angeles, but I am moderately familiar, I would say, because I lived for 8 months in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
I kind of know that area, and as I was telling you yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I know a small stretch of Sunset Boulevard because I worked there at 9229.
And you said it's got a nice pier there. And, you also said you saw some famous people when you were there. Also.
Where I worked?
Drive-bys, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I worked in the same building where the Bellamy brothers worked. I guess they worked there. Their producer was there. And met them, and Tom Sullivan, the blind guy with the dog. Blind guy with the dog.
Oh, he's been in a few movies.
Who else did I meet? I don't know who I met.
Oh, you said you met Susan Day that time on the beach.
I met Susan Day, yeah. I was working at a pizza place. Yep. And she bought iced tea from me and threw it away. She didn't like it. So.
She was spoiled.
Well, maybe she didn't like the tea.
Maybe. Yeah, that could be.
So here in Florida now, we're both, I would say, intimately familiar with Orlando and Tampa, and of course Ocala.
Oh yeah.
Which we're sitting right now.
Daytona Beach.
We're very familiar with Daytona Beach.
St. Pete Beach, Clearwater Beach, Indian Rocks Beach.
St. Augustine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty familiar. Jacksonville, Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Not so much Miami.
No.
But a little bit of Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale. So.
Yeah, so all of the places we're talking about that I've frequented, I would go back because there isn't any place that has left a bad taste in my mouth. Everything has been wonderful, and whatever I needed at that moment, whether it be camping in the state parks or going out for some nightlife or anything like that, you pick and choose. You find out where the stuff is, particular things are that you want to go, and then you just go to it. Art museums like the Dolly Museum in Tampa, really nice.
I like the Dolly Museum.
I do too. And again, that was another day trip. You had your son when he was little. I had my daughter and my son when they were little. And we just got in the, well, first we had our picnic lunch, our stuff for the picnic lunch, threw it in the cooler, had beverages and snacks, and, you know, put gas in the car, and off we went. So it's very, very nice. That's the intimate part of it, when you share it with your family or with someone you love that eventually is your family.
Oh, there's a guy fishing over there.
Oh yeah, those two little boys that walk past there.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to keep the fish you catch here, or is it catch
No,
and release?
this is catch and release. There are big signs all over the place. It's a catch and release. So that makes it nice.
I bet you some people do keep them though.
Oh, probably. Yeah, probably.
Well, there are probably some people who need to keep them.
Yeah.
They probably have no other way of getting food.
Yeah, maybe. Sure.
I have a spider on my camera too.
You do?
Like this too. Whoa!
Oh, he jumped on you.
He
I
jumped
hope
right.
he didn't bite you.
He didn't. He jumped right
My
on me.
goodness, he should have got in front of the lens so everybody.
He would have looked like Godzilla.
Yeah. No, Florida's beautiful. I would opt for camping in Florida. I would opt for any of the springs in Florida because you can scuba dive.
Okay, hold
You
on.
know, you can do whatever.
Okay, Robin just said something I'm going to take issue with.
Okay.
You said you like camping in Florida.
Yeah.
All right. I have issues of camping in Florida.
Okay.
It's a little too hot
Mm-hmm.
for a tent.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes there's too many mosquitoes for a tent. That's not to say that I haven't enjoyed camping here, but I have to say in the winter
Yeah.
is when I like to camp in Florida. But in the summer, it's way too hot. However, camping nowadays can mean a cottage or a cabin.
Right.
And they do have air-conditioned cottages and cabins, and they do have screened porches on some of those cabins,
For us more mature people.
or for people who don't want mosquitoes.
Yeah. I know, but when my children were little, that's all we had was the tent, and we just
That's all we had.
We went, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
Didn't even bother us.
But if you go to Disney World, they have the Wilderness Campground, whatever it's called.
Yes.
Fort Wilderness.
Uh-huh.
And that looks really nice. We camped there one time, you and I,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really nice. Right? We enjoyed it.
And we love the state parks, and in fact, our last camping experiences was last summer, and we noticed hardly any tents anymore. They're either pop-ups or
Right.
RVs or motorhomes,
Right.
and then the cabins. What are those huts called? They're putting in more of those huts.
Yeah, I can't remember. They have a name.
The name of
Yeah.
those huts. Yes, yurts.
Yeah.
Yurts,
That's
yeah,
it.
they're putting in more of the yurts, and it's kind of like a tent. But no, it's really, really nice. Again, just, you know, rent your cabin or something, and then just throw all your food in your cooler and just go and forget about the world. Let it spin.
Because the world spins fine on her own.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Another bird. Oh, I love this. Isn't it a beautiful day with the breeze and all that?
Yes, it is.
It's so
And we're
nice.
under the shade of this live oak tree right
We
here.
got our iced down beverages. Nice.
Yep.
I like it. And this is a city park, by the way, Tuscaloosa Park.
Mhm.
Oh, that is one thing you have to watch out for, though. Whatever parks you visit, if you have animals, if you have a dog, you have to see what the rules are for each park. That's why we like camping at the state parks, because you could bring Larry's dog, because state parks welcome all dogs. Some city parks and some county parks don't welcome dogs. So there's those two boys. They
Yeah.
passed out his line. Oh, the keys too. You would go down there with your nephews, and that was fun.
Oh, I had a good time in the Florida Keys. Yep.
And the coconut trees, which was cool. We don't have
I
them
love
up here.
I love the coconut trees. I don't know why, I just do. And I love the iguanas,
Uh-huh.
even though the people who live down there don't like them.
Yeah.
But I think they're cool. I guess they're a nuisance to some people.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, that bird is just talking and talking. So nice.
Well, I guess that's all we have to say here at our visit to Tuscola Park. Let me turn the camera around.
Okay, look at another bird in the sky. They're
Yeah.
so active today.
Well, hope you enjoyed our chit chat at the park.
Oh yeah,
Chit chat. What should we call this one? Our first jobs.
our first jobs and places we've been and would like to
We've been
return to.
Oh, hold on. Let me turn around. I
Oh,
want to show you
there's
the
the
ducks.
ducks.
Hold on.
There they
All right. Never mind. We're not done yet.
go.
The ducks decided to come by. They're looking to see if we have food. I know it.
Yeah.
They're looking to see if we have a sandwich.
Yeah, I guess when we pack next time, we should just throw the frozen peas in the cooler too. Just in case, you never know where we're going to end up.
No, you never know. All right, kids. Take care.
Be good.
Don't forget to write.
Remember, writing's very important.
Write something kind.
In the world.
The world spins fine.
On her own.
Yeah, baby.